Hello and happy Thursday. Coming at you live here at Insight Production Studios in Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Robert Morales with my co-host, Kelsey Rognes.
Hello.
There she is. And we are from Our CEO Network. Our CEO Network, good people, better business, discovering the best of you.
For the next hour, we're going to be talking to a very special guest of ours about his life, his business, and all of this integrity stuff. We'll be taking questions live, so type in those questions and comments during the broadcast, and we will answer them as we go. If you're watching us live, give us a heart emoji because we love the loves. If you're watching us on replay, give us a wow emoji because, wow, I cannot believe you're not watching us live. So Robert.
Like us here on Facebook, follow us at Our CEO Network, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Also head over to OurCEONetwork.com for more information about marketing your business and sponsorships during these broadcasts. Miss Rognes, hello.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Good.
We're here for another Thursday. I could take this stuff off. I was thinking, we have our guest today, and it's about something that's very, very common, I think, to all of us, and one of those other topics that we talk a little about, don't you think?
Yes.
So my question to you, since I have you here, captive audience, is when's the last time you thought about your air conditioning unit?
Well, ironically, I was talking to somebody about it today, probably because of the show, but I was telling him how I had a rental house, and I was like, when I lived there, I was kind of like, if it breaks, I'll fix it. But now that I have people living in it, I'm like, okay, I need to start thinking about it. But it's always kind of a fleeting thought still.
Yeah. And have you ever been in a situation where it just completely broke down in the middle of summer?
Oh,
or
yeah.
Remember a situation like that?
Absolutely. Actually, I had just done a home equity line on my home when I lived there, and my AC completely just shut off, wouldn't turn on. They came out and they said, oh, the AC unit is done for, and your air handler is, I guess, leaking. It was up in the attic. I don't know much about AC, but the entire system, I don't know. I don't remember how much I spent, but it took a good chunk of my home equity line that I was going to remodel my house with. And so good timing. I had the money, but I didn't get to do what I wanted to do because it was so sudden.
Yeah. And then because you do know about loans and home loans, you deal with equity lines all the time. And that's something that somebody can get, based off their mortgage, right? If they have enough equity in their house.
Right. So I don't
specifically
do home equity lines, but a home equity line is an option. If you refinance your home, you can take cash out. You could do a home equity line with another bank. And personally, it's really, I think, preference, but I like doing cash out. I've done cash out actually since the home equity lines on my personal homes. And the rate is a lot better in my opinion. So that's why I chose that option. But I can see when I first got the HELOC, I was like, this is great. And I personally wouldn't do it again, but I was glad that I took that money. It was a faster process and I got the money and was able to fix, the AC when it went out.
Well, thankfully, you know about home loans. So
Yes.
That's another capacity of our
Learned
life.
from personal experience too. Not only do I do mortgage loans, but personal experience of having home equity lines and refinancing and purchasing, just kind of life experience, I feel like is really good to be in the business too.
And that's awesome. So that is a very good segue into our next guest. He is the one and only, and as I introduce him, he's been a special guy in my life. We've had a number of transactions together. I know. So with that said, he's originally from Houston, Texas, loves Jesus, has 2 daughters, and has been married since 2014. He's possibly a former member of ZZ Top. I don't know yet. We'll have to ask him that. He started his HVAC business in 2011, and he's the founder and owner of BuzzeliAir. Please welcome Mr. Tom Buzzelli.
Thank you. Hello.
We can't afford a live audience, so we have to make up.
Well, COVID, we can't have.
Yeah, COVID. Thank you for having me.
Really, got to calm Violet down. She's crazy. Mr. Tom Buzzelli, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm good.
So you're originally from Houston, Texas, huh?
I am.
What the heck made you come to Arizona?
Believe it or not, struggling single mother.
Oh, well, we won't
We
get
had
on that part.
we had family here, and she needed some help. So that's where I've been, except for my military service.
Yeah, I was reading a little bit about that. So you did military service. Let's see. I got your notes here. And left the military in 1995. And you reading a little bit about you at some point left the military and you were homeless for a while.
Yeah, the whole thing with the VA is that it's always been a struggle. I had things kind of set up to stay with my mom until I got on my feet, and unfortunately back then, for whatever reason, there was a lot of places that wouldn't rent to me because they said I had no rental history. I pre-enlisted into the military, so before I even graduated high school, I was actually in the Army. Once I graduated, I got fully sworn in and left like a month, 2 months later. But of course, when you're single, you live in the barracks, and that's not considered rental history. So I plan on living with my mom for a few months to get that. And it didn't work out because of, unfortunately, her husband at the time. And so I really had nobody to lean on. So I ended up living out of a 87 S10 Blazer, and I would go to community centers, shower, shave, go to my interviews, and got a job, started working.
Yeah, that's kind of a crazy, I guess, time in your life. And I guess we'll get into a little bit more about how that transitioned from being homeless at one point in your life to having this business. And we'll get into the business aspect of that too. But what was that? What happened between being homeless and getting you into the career, or I guess the business you're in now?
Um, my mom did HVAC management and startups.
Yeah.
She did pretty much everything office related to HVAC and was so good at it that she was able to start developing the HVAC departments for building companies. So when a developer starts to build homes, they typically will subcontract everything out. When they start to gain more revenue, they will in-house the major trades, usually plumbing, electrical, HVAC. So that's kind of how my mom uh, got into it. And then she ended up meeting her last husband, which was the stepfather that did HVAC. And that's kind of how I got into it. When I got out of the military, I pretty much had a job within the first couple of weeks, was working, and then enrolled at Mesa Community College. So I was going to college full time, um, working full time, and then helping my stepdad on the side because he needed help because of his age. And that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. Just built a passion from there, seeing the way I guess people were being left, in regards to the quality of the work and the stuff that was being done in their homes. Um, if you were to do a poll on 25 people, I can almost guarantee about 24 of them have never even seen their attic. So it's very, very clear that people get taken advantage of. The quality of the work's not there. And, the way my heart is, it's set on people, it's not set on money. And I just want to do the right thing for people and do the highest quality that's possible within that parameter of their home.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because the whole premise and the reason we invited you to the show was based on a conversation that we had regarding a client and you servicing that home and to straight to the point, you don't like the BS other companies do, and you like to provide quality service, and you were completely honest about maybe too honest to a fault regarding the cost of products and the services, and maybe sometimes to your own deficit, because I do know you sacrifice a lot of your time and a lot of things you do. So part of why you're here is just understanding how that journey took place for you to not take advantage of people and to be honest with your business. So was there anything in your past that really said, hey, this is the direction I want to go? Because there are a number of companies that do sleazy stuff. I'm not going to say names, and I'm familiar with a few because I've had my run-in with a few myself. But was there an event or something that that said, hey, you know what, this is how I'm going to run my business. I don't like these other guys. This is how I'm going to do things from now on.
Yeah, I didn't work for very many companies, and I won't name names, but the last one I worked for, I got tired of
You like
being told
names.
how to do something by a person who couldn't perform it themselves. The company before that, I literally walked onto a customer's property and had the owner next to me, and he said, "See these vehicles?" He's like, "This home, these vehicles, these people can afford to pay a higher price." And you know, that type of greed is what ruins this industry. It's already oversaturated, and when you oversaturate it with that many people that have a mind set that way, it just ruins everything. He literally stood in front of me to these customers and lied to them about the pricing, availability, and stuff like that, just so he could get, you know, another $2,000 out of a motor. And a lot of motors don't even cost $2,000. And, you know, it was just very upsetting. And that's what kind of turned me towards, you know, I didn't want those people looking at me and seeing a bad person. And that's what kind of pushed me in the direction of being the owner of my own business, my own owner of my own ideals, and performing business the way I think it should be done, the way pretty much no one does it.
I mean, hearing that, even just, I mean, I don't know. Most people I feel like know I have vehicles, multiple cars.
I do.
But right. So even in having multiple, right? I have, you know, a pretty nice motorcycle, a truck and a car that all three of them are nice. And then I have some junkers that are old, right? But I've worked hard and I've spent, you know, money that I could afford at the time, you know, like progressing to that point. So even though I'm not surprised, I also am still surprised that people judge off of, oh, you have nice things, you must be able to afford things. And that's not always the case. You know, people work hard for trying to get, you know, what they want to get. And I just feel like most of the country really almost lives paycheck to paycheck. Even they can have nice things, but it's definitely I don't know. It's still a surprising thing, but I know what happens.
Since the introduction of like credit cards and credit, that's kind of what's ruined things for a lot of people. So a lot of people have a lot of nice things, but they financed out to the hilt, you know, so they don't have that free cash flow. And then their credit, because of their maxed out financing, they're not able to finance sometimes too. So I've seen
I
people $500,000 home that couldn't even afford a new AC, you know, and
right.
you try to do what you can do, you know.
I mean, the consensus is across the board. It should be across the board. It doesn't matter how much you make. It doesn't matter what nice things you have. The price should be the price, right?
Exactly. That's why I try to flat rate everything I can. Most of my labor is flat rate. My standard markup goes on, you know, whatever the cost of the part is, I have the same markup all the way across the board for everyone. It doesn't, nothing changes for me. My labor rates haven't moved in probably 8 years. So,
And you don't believe like there's a deficit to that? I mean, you know, because money appreciates over time, and or I should say depreciates, and the cost of living goes up. You know, taxes go up, everything goes up. You don't feel that there's a need to kind of increase prices, at least incrementally. I mean, you don't have to go like, you know, charging $20 an hour today to $80 tomorrow, kind of thing. But you know,
yeah, I mean,
you don't
there's
believe
got
in
to
that kind of
be,
incremental climb.
yeah, there's got to be, you know, progression with that. But again, I'm really good at AC. I'm not so good at some of the office type stuff. So it's easier for me, you know, to do small changes here and there, like you said, incremental. Um, but yeah, I mean, you have to, and that's part of the struggle with my business right now is is growing. I had to get a new truck last year, so right now my focus is pretty much paying that off. I don't like to finance things. It's the only thing I financed. I started my company with I think $23,000. That's my old truck right there.
Oh, that's the old one. I had a picture of it, so I wanted to kind of,
Yeah,
I
that's
did
the
want to
old
show it at
one.
some point.
I literally paid 10, 90, 95.40 for that.
Almost 10 grand.
Yeah, almost 10 grand. I put 3,400 into it. I started my business with less than $23,000. When I rolled out to my very first call, I had less than $500 in the bank and just went from there. I have a
Yeah,
brand new
and
truck, that exact same truck, but just brand new.
I guess,
And
since we're kind of talking about that, what was that first opportunity? Because I think it's hard for people to conceptualize going from being homeless to having a business, and we can probably get into your family a little bit too, going from being homeless on your own by yourself to now at a point in your life where you have a family and you have a business, and I would say a thriving business, because you've just been in it for nearly 10 years, and it's really hard for people to kick off a business after the first year.
yeah.
So was there events in between that really kind of like or opportunities you can describe that put you at this point in your life?
Truthfully, the money that I started my business with, so it's kind of difficult, but my oldest daughter is now 15. Unfortunately, her mother was taking a depression medication during pregnancy, and she was actually bipolar. Ended up causing a birth defect in my daughter's heart, and she had open heart surgery at 3 months old. We ended up suing the pill manufacturer, which I don't know if I can name them or not, but I won't. But it was a class act lawsuit. My daughter received some money, which is in a trust fund for her. And then there was what's called a parent allocation. Yeah, I don't want to badmouth their mom, but basically she blew through that money pretty quick. And about all I had left is what I scraped together to do that with. But it was an opportunity, and I just grabbed it and ran with it. I had to do something. I got tired of not being able to sleep at night because of the things I was being asked to do to people. I mean, I genuinely love people. I don't really,
Yeah.
it's difficult. There's situations where, even being as honest as I am, um, there's times where I just can't help somebody out. I just can't do it. Their
Yeah.
system's broken and they're wanting a whole new free system. I can't do a whole new free system. I'll try to work on the labor, work on the pricing, whatever I can do. But until I get bigger, it's difficult to do stuff like that. And the size and quantity that I really want to, you know.
Yeah, and I think because there's so many people in your industry, you don't really see the behind the scenes, the backstory. I want to portray one picture real quick before we go to our first commercial break. This what makes it very real. It makes it very real, and this is a public post, so I'm hoping
Mm.
this is
So,
a public picture.
not to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
the one on my right, which is the shorter girl, she's actually 15. She's my oldest. And my other daughter, Jessica, she's now 14. She's my youngest. So you can see the difference. Emberly, which is my oldest daughter, the smaller one, she's miracle baby, but I also push these kids to be the best they can be, not to make the same mistakes that I've made. I genuinely want them to be better than I was, better than I see other people being, and be a help to the community and the world. My
Yeah.
kids are straight A students. I can't remember the last time they had a B, so.
Yeah, and I think like I was getting into, sometimes we don't see the backstory of service providers. In my industry, there's like 10,000 real estate agents. In Kelsey's industry, there are 10,000 lenders, and then I'm sure in AC, there's roughly just as much service providers in that industry too. And we do forget that there's families behind each one of those faces. We do forget that there's situations and people struggling, and what's going on in their lives. So I appreciate you sharing that story. And as we get to our first commercial break, we do have Tom Buzzelli from BuzzeliAir. He is the owner of his company, BuzzeliAir. He's with us live here on Facebook. So hang in there. We're going to go to our first commercial break, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit about what BuzzeliAir has to offer all of you people watching. So hold on.
We have a family restaurant since 1999. Moreno started as a hot dog cart, and then the first building was purchased on that corner, Broadway and Horn. That's how it started. from working for other restaurants and thinking, you know, we can have something very unique, personal, something that we can put our own thoughts, our recipes, grandma's recipes. Just putting that plate together and sending it out to the table for the customer to actually enjoy the food. For us, making the food with love, with emotion. I want them to go tell somebody else. What I like to think that makes us stand out from the rest is being grateful for customers to notice and tell us, you know, we like coming here, we feel welcomed. As long as you have a passion for what you're doing, just dream about it, focus on it, don't give up. I am Martina Moreno, owner of Moreno's Mexican Grill, and this is our CEO Network. Ya hasta muevo la cabeza.
Oh boy, I think I'm feeling a bit hungry after that video.
Yeah.
So thank you. Welcome back. We're here with Tom Buzzelli from BuzzeliAir. Kelsey?
Yes. And make sure you keep typing in those questions and give us the love with those heart emojis. Wow, emojis are good too. Anything good that you're hearing today, make sure that you send us some sort of emoji. Keep the comments and questions coming. I think the question segment's coming soon.
And we do have a giveaway, don't we?
We do.
Possibly. I don't know. We haven't worked that quite out yet, but
I believe that it was with a repair, you get a free service call. Is that right, Tom?
Yes.
oh, look at that. Good. We love free stuff. So Mr. Tom Buzzelli, we're to the second segment of our show today, and we're here to talk a little bit about BuzzeliAir really is. So we've been talking about AC. Do you want to kind of take over what you do as a company?
I mean, my first focus is people. The motto on the side of my truck is excellence and quality, but we start with honesty first. Honesty, quality, integrity, and relationship value. My business model is upside down compared to most companies. I don't focus on the money. I focus on the people. What are the needs of the family? And let's get it taken care of. The highest standards that you can achieve and go from there. Create a relationship that's bonding and, you know, lifelong. I don't really like to refer to people as customers. The majority of the people I do business with are my friends.
Yeah, I know. I love that too. I mean, it's so hard for me to like tell people, hey, this is a client I work with, because I see them as friends, like all of them. And it just, you call them client, call them customer. It just doesn't sound right. It doesn't settle right.
Doesn't.
And I think it puts you in a different mindset when it comes to that. But Kelsey, I don't know if you have any I have a list that I have any questions you have for Tom regarding, AC service. Cause we were thinking about a bunch as we got
Right.
ready for the show today.
I think you should lead off because I feel like we had some similar ones.
Okay, so
that way we're not repeating.
okay, so the first and foremost thing is like, what do I need to protect myself when it comes to somebody AC service? Are there things that you would tell me or tell anybody else? Hey, you can hire me, you don't have to hire me, but if you're going to hire another company, this is what you need to look out for.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Better Business Bureau, of course, Register of Contractors license. Make sure it's in good standing, no complaints, no ongoing issues. There's tons and tons of companies that cover that stuff up. Don't look for reviews on their website. I've had dozens of companies. They're like, oh, we can get your reviews all over your website. Well, yeah, but you'll never see a bad review. I mean, that's negative publicity, negative stuff for your company. So you're never going to see negative stuff on a company's website. So you need to look for it organically through searches and stuff like that. You will find it. Not with me, because I'm a complaint-free company. I think you could pretty much do any search you want. You won't find a complaint about my company that I'm aware of. But you basically, especially if you don't actually have a contractor, sometimes it's best to start out with finding 3 of the top ones that you've done research on. Research is important, and then have all 3 of them come out, give you an estimate. And then, Facebook is huge. We didn't have Facebook for so many years. Now you can get personal recommendations, but you have to be careful with that as well, because when a company has multiple employees, one person may have Bob, the next person may have Joe, two totally different people performing two different things, and it becomes,
And what we've talked about in the past, and I guess I wanted the meat and potatoes, not just stock answers, like, because we talked about commissions. I mean, a lot of these AC guys, a lot of companies do charge commission or give their employees commission to do whatever work, so you'll have a company that tells their staff, hey, you charge more for this particular item. It only costs us 5 extra cents, but we can charge the client, $5 extra. Stuff like that. If you sell this
Exactly.
product, then you're going to make more money off this. Is that a
Which
problem in the industry, or?
it is, it's huge, because you have to understand, the regular run of the mill guy is trying to raise a family, and in this day and age, you have to have money. They end up being slightly dishonest, which is not okay with me whatsoever. For example, you have a condensing fan motor and a capacitor on a unit outside. The capacitor could be bad, and the technician could tell the person, oh, well, it's overamping. Well, a motor can overamp in Arizona. It absolutely can, but only to a certain extent, because we deal with extreme heat here. But that slight dishonesty, he's going to sell the motor, the capacitor, and he's going to make more money on his commission. I'm not commission based. I pay very well. I paid my brother and another gentleman that I've trained at several different companies $60 an hour for the last job they did for me. So, you have all these guys that are like, I make X amount of dollars a year. You have companies that will literally have their employees bragging about the millions of dollars they've made. And when you do the math, it seems almost completely unfeasible that they're doing completely legitimate business. But yes, commission-based employees have a tendency to be dishonest. That's what I found.
Not in every industry.
No, in my industry.
I know. I was like, not. I actually
My industry.
see.
Well, that's a good discussion topic. I mean, we could talk a little bit more what that means.
But no, I mean, it's definitely an area where people can, that's actually the mortgage industry did change because of that. They used to be able to charge whatever, my understanding, I wasn't in the industry, but you could charge a higher rate and get more commission. And that was back when rates were, I want to say like 8%. I don't really know. This was, again, before I was in the industry, but they would charge, and then they would be able to get the extra whatever plan, I guess. And so that kind of stems into salespeople as well, are usually viewed as dishonest, because it's, oh, you're selling me on something. You're not, a friend in the business. You're selling me on something. And so that's definitely a battle. I feel like being in the sales industry, all of us kind of struggle with, because there are going to be people who are dishonest.
You can sell through necessity instead of greed in my industry. And that's what I focus on. What are the requirements, necessities of the family or the person I'm dealing with? Simple.
Yeah. And so I guess going back to the original question, what can I do as a consumer? Let's say something happens to you and you can't service and take care of my AC work, which I go to you all the time. I do anyway. What I mean is, like, if you're, taking up with a family matter or had to deal with something else and couldn't service me, what would you go to and say, hey, Robert, I know that you're going to be hiring somebody else. I can't get to it. This is what you should look out for. This is what a normal cost should be. Is there something out there that I could look out for if I did hire somebody else, or at least hire somebody in the AC business?
I've been in that situation before, and I tell people, text me. If I'm not in a call me situation, text me. I'll try to confirm what I can. I mean, especially like 2016 when my mom died. I wasn't around quite a bit. That was a rough period of my time, of my life. But again, it goes back to doing the research. A lot of people skip that research, and that's how they get taken advantage of. But try not to use, commission-based, because it promotes dishonesty. It does. I have someone that I know that worked for a big company, doing installs, but he didn't do them really good because he knew he could upsell the customer, make more money on that. And then when the company he worked for backcharged him to have someone to go fix his install, he didn't care because he made more money on the sales, the commission he was making on those upsells. And that's promoting poor workmanship, poor quality. And it's rough. And again, with this industry, it's oversaturated. So you see that a lot, but it gets covered up.
Yeah. And so like, I guess what can I do or look out for? Or, just generally speaking, what can I do to ensure my system is taken care of? I mean, I don't have any of the gadgets and stuff. I'm looking. Okay. So I'll go back to the website real quick. I'm going to go to your Facebook page. So this thing, I don't have one of these yellow gadget things. I don't know how to check my AC. Let me see if I can pull that picture up. I don't know what is that? I don't know what that is.
That right there is actually what's called a digital manifold. So a lot of times you're going to see the old school ones where it looks like gauges. That's a digital form. That's actually has the hoses that hook up to your unit, so you can check the refrigerant, subcooling, superheat. It provides some of the technical data that we need to make sure that it's performing correctly. I actually have ones with no hoses now. They're completely wireless and they go through to my phone. So I can, yeah.
No, that's cool. Yeah. And
made by the same company as that.
So as I'm going through some of the pictures that you have on your,
that was my new truck.
Oh, this one. So BuzzeliAir, I'm on your Facebook business page right now. So I'm looking at your timeline photos. Look at that. I still can't get past the beard thing, by the way, Tom.
And that's been trimmed like 10 times.
But
GoDaddy's been doing this for me, just so you know. I can't keep up with it. The social media just kills me.
So yeah, and then as far as other companies, yeah, I know there are issues with commission based, staff, and you can't really. The thing that sucks, I think, in all of our industries is that you have people out there out for the wrong thing, and they aren't doing what's in their best interest of their client or the customer or even their friend. And it's just it is kind of, I guess, frustrating on one end. As far as a consumer goes, what can you recommend for people to commonly do, or at least to do frequently, to ensure that their unit is long lasting and continues to thrive, I guess?
Probably the easiest, most important key component is filter changes and maintenance. And that's about all you can do as a homeowner. Filters need to be fiberglass, and they need to be changed every 30 days.
Well, why fiberglass?
It's been proven through research that the air restriction created by the other expensive filters causes compressor failure. I can go into pretty serious technical stuff if you want me to.
So those basically the cheap green filters are
exactly.
Fiberglass, yeah?
Green, white, blue, depends on the store you get them at.
Right.
I sell a heavier duty one like this. The ones that I use in my own home, of course, I get them at cost, so it's more beneficial for me to get them from my supply store. But air filters are mismarketed, and people think they're an air quality product, and they're not. They're not air quality products whatsoever. They do slightly filter the air, of course, but what it's doing is keeping that junk out of your coil, which can create immense issues with your system. If you have allergies, asthma, things like that, then you have to go to different products like ultraviolet lights. And in some cases, in extreme cases, you have to get these electronic air cleaners. And those are a pain in the butt because if your unit's in the attic, you're not getting up there to clean it. So when it does need to be cleaned, you have to call a technician out to do it. And those are expensive, and maintaining them is expensive. But if you have the health risk of allergies, asthma, stuff like that, then you have to do that. But changing your filter to most commonly called a pleated filter or folded filter. People are like, oh, it's pleated, it's going to filter better. Well, no, the pleat is only creating surface area, and it's actually the make of the material that's restricting the airflow that causes the issues. The lack of proper airflow to an HVAC system is the leading cause for premature compressor failure. And that's through research of the major manufacturers.
So when Violet tells me to buy the 3M triple
Yeah.
thick poly
Don't-
filters that
Give me 30
well,
seconds. I'll show you a filter. They're
I mean,
literally right here.
I mean, the biggest thing too, I've actually heard that, and the biggest thing I think in any industry is knowledge. So if you don't know about something, or your AC guy doesn't tell you about something, then you're not going to know. And so someone has told me that before. I don't recall, I think it was just a friend, but you can't possibly know what's ruining and costing you money unless the person who's an expert in that industry tells you. And that's what we rely on experts in the industry to do. So, I mean, that's why honesty and integrity is so important. I can't talk today. That's why it's so important, to know people in the business and to be connected with people who have that quality.
That's one of the things that I focus on as well, is trying to educate a customer on their system. That's one of the key components for me, being a smaller business and not being able to get to everyone at the same time. I can only get to a certain amount of calls a day and perform so much work in the heat that we deal with. So I try to educate each customer on their system and what to do to protect themselves in the event that I'm not able to care for them. And then I've always, of course, given my number, and most people have my personal cell phone, not just the number on my truck. And I'm there for them if they need a second opinion. I'm in a lot of cases the second guy who gets called out, or the third or fourth, and all I can do is educate someone. I mean, I've literally shown the pricing to people. This is what this part costs. Okay, this is what I charge for it. You have to understand that insurance is, a lot of people don't realize how much it costs to run a business and how much insurance is, and gas and things like that. The other thing is when I flat rate something, say I change out a motor and it's $300 and I do it in 30 minutes. They're like, you just charged me $300 for 30 minutes. And I said, yeah, it's because I'm good at what I do. So I can do it pretty quick. It's, and I'm not overcharging. I'm actually undercharging, because I'm in most cases 50% less than a lot of the other companies out there, because I don't finance. I don't have the overhead, and I try to keep it that way.
Yeah, and you're pretty hands-on. And I will say, and I will thank you, over and over again for the number of times I've had to call you, and you're very accommodating. The conversations tend to be, fairly long-winded, but that's what I love about you, Tom.
I'm lonely.
You do like to chitter chatter quite a bit. And but at the end of the day, I appreciate how forefront you are with the information you share. And you go into detail. And I believe, like a lot of customers, clients, friends, sometimes either want to hear the cut straight to the point, or they want to know kind of the details of why. And one of those things about HVACs and those HVAC systems is you don't see it very often. When it explodes, it's usually a few $1,000s, you know what I mean? So, but with that said, we're going to go into our next commercial break. We do have a question that came up, and we'll answer that as we go along. But we are here with Mr. Tom Buzzelli of BuzzeliAir. Hang in there, because we're going to go, and we'll be back in about 2 for our question and answer session. I'm excited. Are you excited, Kels?
I'm super, super stoked.
Oh, you sound like it.
I am. No, I am.
Oh, there it is. There we are.
I like learning about things. I just, I'm like sitting there like, okay, I have questions. Which ones do other people want to hear? So we'll get there. We'll handle all these questions
right after this. Oh boy.
I'm a perfectionist that understands that there's no such thing as perfection. I was, as an entrepreneur, sitting alone in an office. I was the owner, the managing partner, but who do I talk to? How do I find out that other people are really in the same boat? Let me create what I wanted, because that's what others are apparently going to want to. When you're doing business, it has to have a purpose. One of those purposes has to be fulfillment. How is what I'm doing affecting people? Here we are, a networking group where everybody wants to get together. It's why we network. We want to learn more. We want to make connections. Hi, my name's Dan Kite, and I'm the CEO of Workuity. And this is our CEO Network.
Thank you, Mr. Dan Kite. Workuity. He does office spaces and shared office for all your shared office needs.
Dan Kite is like the one video where you don't have that ending that's like fun.
Yeah, I know.
you gotta find a clip and put it in there.
I guess I can edit it in there. It was more for Instagram. Instagram only allows you to do 1 minute videos. That's what sucks about Instagram.
I was like, that's my favorite part, is seeing the like after blooper.
Oh God. But we are back here with Mr. Tom Buzzelli from BuzzeliAir, and Kelsey, it's all you now.
Type in those questions. Keep giving us the love with the heart emojis. Wow emojis are good too for anything that you're glad to hear or that you like hearing today. And keep the comments and questions coming, especially because it's the Q&A.
Yes, it is. So we're brought all here together to kind of mishmash and talk a little bit about not only integrity, not only about the AC work, but us as business owners, because we all come from different perspectives. We talked a little about commissions and how that's structured. But at the end of the day, I think it's about having integrity that really propels you and is the long game. The short game, I think, with a lot of short-term thinkers, a lot of salespeople, it's like, I'm going to get the sale today. I'm going to make the money today. And if I make it every single day, I'll make it in the long term. And I think I would consider that gambling. I would say, you play that game, you'll always run short. You'll make your gains, but you'll also make your losses too. And I think as long as you're propelled and remain and maintain that sense of honesty, which is why we have Tom on the show today, you will again play that long game. Do you want to answer that, ask that question or a couple of questions that we had?
Oh my goodness, of course. I'm reading the question and I'm like, oh. So the question is, AC units on the roof versus on the ground. Is there a purpose? Is there one that's better than the other? Does it matter? Is it mostly older homes? I know that was 5 questions in one, but we can go through them slow if you'd like.
Super simple. So you can't really compare the unit on a roof to the unit on the ground, because the unit on the ground actually has an adjacent unit in your attic or in a closet. So it's actually what's called a split system. The unit on the roof is called a package unit. That's everything together in one package. Probably the biggest difference is that the rooftop units, typically you cannot get as high of an efficiency out of them because of manufacturing. For example, certain brands will put the guts of a 4-ton in the shell of a 5-ton. Okay, so you can get a higher efficiency 4-ton because you have more room in the shell of a 5-ton. Okay, but the 5-ton, they're not going to make a bigger shell or cabinet to increase efficiency, because that's a whole nother manufacturing process that's going to cost millions of dollars. So you're limited on the efficiency of a rooftop unit, whereas the space is required for what we call a split system, which traditionally you see that unit on the ground outside. There will be another unit attached to it somewhere in the house, a closet, platform in the garage, or in the attic. Those units tend to have more space, so you can reach higher efficiencies with those type of units. And honestly, maintenance is actually easier for a rooftop unit. Typically, I charge less for it.
So go rooftop. Is that what you're saying?
You can't always go rooftop. You got a lot of tile roofs out here. Some of the tile roofs will have a shingle kind of run.
They have like that flat thing, right? And then the units on top of it. Like at least that's what I've seen, I feel like. But so I have both styles actually, because my rental has the split unit. One's on the ground outside, and there's an air handler up in the attic. And then my new house that I just bought has the AC unit on the roof. Brand new house, but it's like Santa Fe style. So there's like
flat roof
walking space. It is, yeah.
Yeah,
no tile.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, that's really common, because if it's flat roof, how are you going to get a unit in the attic?
Right. There's no attic. I do not have an attic.
Exactly. And so And in regards to that, the value of a home is based on its livable square footage. And if you're losing square footage to put an indoor unit in a closet or something like that, that's loss of revenue. So they put it on the roof and just run ductwork. It's in some cases about money.
Yeah.
Playing with the Yoda. You see the guns and helmets video on Facebook?
Oh yeah, we did see that
Child
one.
of mine.
Had somebody say-
So I'm in my office today. I usually do the videos at home, and I'm in the office today. And while we were filming just now, well, halfway through filming, I realized that I had Baby Yoda sitting behind, and this is actually full-grown Yoda before Baby Yoda came out, but he looks
It
tiny.
looks like Baby Yoda.
And I was like, perfect, because Robert and Yoda are a thing. So I found him and I was like, perfect. I'm trying to see. So it says June 2016. I'm pretty sure Mandalorian came out after that. So
Yep.
this is full-size Yoda.
So what is your spirit animal, Mr. Buzzelli?
I have no clue.
Perfect. We'll
make one up for you.
well,
There you
yeah,
go.
we're gonna assign you a spirit animal.
So
Okay.
I think we had another question. I want to show a couple things. Maybe we get to that question and I can show. I have very
You want me to
specific
ask the
questions.
question?
Yeah, go ahead. And then I'll pull
Okay.
this stuff up I have on.
All right,
Answer.
so
Violet keeps asking questions as well.
I know.
right. So seeing that we live in Arizona, or if people live in other states that maybe get more snow, even up north in Arizona, should you cover AC units at all, or is there more wear and tear depending on where you live, like more so in the winter or more so in the summer in Arizona? Like what exactly wears them out faster?
The heat's going to wear them out faster, but snow can damage a unit as well. The other thing with snow is that refrigerant is basically a chemical, and the properties within it that allow it to do what it does inside of a system, they lose those properties under freezing conditions. So when refrigerant reaches a freezing temperature, it cannot perform its job basically. So anything under, I mean, it can actually happen above 32 degrees. But you can actually be cold enough. And in some snow, like northern Arizona, you have to do what's called a snow base. It's basically something that raises your outdoor unit up off the ground. That's in a heat pump situation, which is when you have an air handler. A lot of homes, rely on gas heating. So it doesn't matter what's going on with the outdoor unit, and snow can be packed on it, whatever, it'll just melt. But with the AC functioning in a hot climate, it's more apt to have failures because of the heat. It's very difficult to build things in a conservative, cost-efficient manner. They're going to be able to deal with the heat the way we deal with it here in Arizona.
Did that answer your question, Violet? She's from Chicago, so that's why she asked those questions. But I had a very, very important question aside from AC work. It's relating, it's possibly to the beard, but I'm going to go ahead and post this real quick. Who the heck is this guy? Who is this guy right here? What the heck is going on here?
Maybe 2 years out of the army.
I want to know that guy's phone number.
Robert.
Look at that. I miss, I do miss the no beard part. That's how I met you. I didn't meet you with a hair, but I met you with a hair in a different location, if that's fair to say.
It took me a second on that. I was like, whoa. And then I realized we're
beard hair, Kelsey.
Right.
Just stay focused.
Look, my hair's in a different location.
No, but the beard thing, I don't know what the motivation behind that was, because when I met you, you were more like the other guy. You had no beard.
The kids. He said the kids.
Oh, was I not listening?
They wanted him to grow a beard. I listened, Robert.
Yeah. So again, being in the military, I'm kind of OCD on quite a few things, and one of them is when I was in basic training, they would actually take cotton balls and rub it on your face. And if any of the cotton, there you go. If any
he
of the
is.
cotton stuck on your face, you weren't shaving correctly. It wasn't a smooth shave. So I shave against the grain. And being in the industry I'm in and being half Italian, you know, I have curly hairs. You get ingrown hairs. Then you shave the next day. You kind of cut those. Then you get in an attic with insulation, fiberglass, and all that stuff. And it becomes pretty painful sometimes. And so they said, just, you know, maybe you should just grow it out. So they came to me with a little beard kit one day and wanted me to grow my beard out. It's been what, 2 years, 3 years? I don't know.
So what's the worst thing that's been caught in there? Is it cheese? Is it
No,
bubble gum?
it's sap.
Oh, sap. What are you doing? Sucking on trees?
Tree sap. Yeah, I was on a rooftop unit.
Oh,
And
oh
it
yeah,
had a
that's really
pine
big.
tree. Pine tree was overhanging, and that's actually what ended up causing it to malfunction. The sap had been dripping into the unit for so long from a branch that was cut off
Yeah.
that it caused some issues with the motor. And yeah, I was trying to fix it, and I had sap in my beard. Actually, I had to go to a barber and have him trim it out. I couldn't get it out.
I just find it amazing that somebody can hang on. Like if it grows for me more than like 4 days, I'm starting to itch and I'm like, I can't deal with this anymore. I know Violet likes it, but it's just I can't do it.
It's only like a week worth of growth.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
got a lot of
This is
testosterone.
Capital One.
Mr.
Remember the
Brazil.
Capital One commercials? Grew the beard.
Yeah. But going back to today's topic, you know, so there's a lot of people getting into the AC business or sales or whatever it is. And, you know, has there been a benefit in terms of what you've seen and what you experienced? Has there been a benefit to being just straight up honest and to show, you know, what your pricing is and why you do things? Is there a benefit to that? And is there a challenge to that?
Your sleep benefits. I sleep better at night knowing that I've approached each customer with utmost honesty. One of the worst things I ever saw was being in I think it was Walmart or Target.
Yeah.
I was with my kids and we had the unfortunate situation where not my customer, a customer of someone else was like, there's that jerk that ripped me off, literally lit this guy up in Target screen. And the guy was with his family. That guy worked for a company, but was basically did something dishonest and not very good quality at this person's house. And it ended up costing, I guess, because there was a lot of words being thrown out there, but I witnessed that. And I would never want that. I would never want to be in public and have one of my customers run up to me and be like, you're a jerk. You ripped me off, you know? And at the end of the day, it's again, we're all people. We're humans. Yeah. I believe in the master race, you know, the human race. It's to go into someone's home and do something less than what I would do for my own family is, I don't know, in my mind, in my heart, it's inconceivable.
Yeah, it's like I said, and I think in all of our industries, there's dishonest people that do things just for their own selfish needs, and you know, in life we deal with that. And then when we come across people like yourself, Tom, and this is why I connected with you too, Kelsey. I mean, there are so many people. Like even today, you know, Maria, she's been a longtime friend, and she approached me yesterday saying, "Hey, who can I talk to about this home loan stuff?" And I gave you her name, and then she texted me back saying, thank you, you know, she made my life a little bit easier because she was just upfront and then told me what I needed to hear, you know, and that was something, you know, remarkable that really emulates what I'm trying to do, what Tom's trying to do. Cause there are people out there, I believe they're honest and genuine about what they do and treat their people, their friends, with respect and integrity, like they would their own family.
I mean, and even further on that, you know, it's so common to where you have to make up for other people's mistakes. So like that AC guy that was in Target and you saw that, I'm sure the next AC guy that came out to that guy's house, he was like, oh, are you going to rip me off too? Because it's automatically assumed, oh, well, this industry is bad, or these people are selling you.
That taste in your mouth. It really does. And
right.
I've been the third guy before, you know what I mean?
Right.
And you have to come to them. And that's why I say, you know, I've told people, if you don't believe me, you know, call the manufacturer. Don't call a distributor. You call a manufacturer, the people who make it. They have technical support and consumer hotlines that can help people through situations, you know, and it's horrible, you know. And then as far as like Robert, you know, I do a lot of real estate inspections, a lot.
Yeah.
And the worst thing I've ever come across was a crooked real estate agent that basically I found huge issues, photographed them, documented it. And this guy goes, no, you don't tell them about it. And I was kind of like, why? And he goes, because I want them to buy this house. And I'm like, what? So of course I had the customer's information. I just emailed everything over to him, and forwarded the email from him telling me not to report all this stuff to them so that they could see. Because I don't deal with that. You're not going to include me in on your bad decisions or bad business stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that,
Right.
I don't know. It's so hard. It really is. And then, at the same time, doing this in the business, it's important for me to maintain the honesty, the integrity, the quality. Because at the same time I'm doing that, my kids are looking at me. And with children, more is caught than taught. And a lot of people don't understand that. You can try to teach your kids all kinds of stuff, which I do. But at the same time, you're emanating experience to them. They're going to see the way you are, and they're going to emanate that. And so it's important for me to maintain that, not just for my business, but I'm a dad. I want my kids to grow and have the same integrity that I do, regardless of what they do in life.
And that's a very profound perception to have. So with that, I mean, I'm going to conclude the show on that. We're coming to the end, and there's a couple things, some housekeeping items that Kelsey and I have to go through. So the first one, hold on, there we go here. So if you want to market your business here with us at Our CEO Network, we create your marketing videos, offer you social media management support, and highlight you at our events, such as today's call. Instant messages here on Facebook at Our CEO Network for details about becoming a sponsor and marketing opportunities. We do have a couple contests, Miss Rognes, and want to repeat the giveaway one more time.
Yes. So I'm going to start with the giveaway. So the giveaway Tom is offering if he repairs your unit, there's no service call. Correct. That was what we.
Yes. That's fine.
Service inspection fee.
I just want to make sure I'm saying it right, so I'm not like giving away.
Service call fee. So typically to go out to someone's house within 20 miles is $69, and I waive that with any repair. It doesn't matter how small it is.
That's awesome. And then our contest, Kelsey.
So the contest, our CEO Network is looking for entrepreneurs and small business owners. Win a free professional video live interview like the ones that you've seen on Facebook Live here today, our little commercials. This package also includes 1 month of social media support. You submit your success story or the success story of somebody else to info@ourceonetwork.com or direct message us for more information. Contest rules do apply, and their winner will be selected on December 1st, which is coming up really, really quick.
Really quick.
I mean, I think that there's so many people, I say this every time, that are successful in business, successful just, even if it's you're looking up to this person, right? Or your own success story, what you've overcome, challenges, whatnot, submit it to us. And worst case, you don't win the contest, but it's coming up fast. So could find out and get some cool commercials and
send those stories over.
I got one more thing. If anybody has questions and we didn't get them, or that question wasn't answered today, they can always email me, text me.
Well, I'm glad you're getting into that, Mr. Tom, because here, Tom Buzzelli, contact Tom here at 480-659-8033 or Buzzelli_air@yahoo.com. He's licensed, bonded, and insured.
here's the guy in the corner. I'm just kidding.
I don't know who.
That's me.
I don't know if that guy will show up. I might be the guy from ZZ Top. I don't know. He could be from Duck Dynasty. You take your gamble.
Ooh, that's a better one.
My name's Bond. Bond.
So I want to thank everybody here, Mr. Tom Buzzelli. I have to do one more show real quick. He was the 2017 winner of the Homeadvisor Pro. Again, I think that just emphasizes exactly what who you are as a person, not only in your business, but at home. And so again, I want to appreciate your time and thank you for coming to today. I know you're a little bit nervous. I know
was,
you're a little bit
little bit.
shy about coming on. So how was the experience?
It was good. I like it.
Very relaxed,
know?
right? Kelsey does that. She does that to me every time to make
I'm
me
just
very
hanging out in
relaxed.
the office by myself.
Well, she got Baby Yoda to cuddle, so maybe that's what you need.
I
Tom,
have a
you need-
Chewbacca too. He's a baby Chewbacca.
Well, maybe Tom, you take up the
Could be
Chewbacca
Tom's
mantra.
spirit animal.
Is that my spirit? I was gonna say, is that my spirit animal?
I mean, I decided that when we said it, but I was like, well,
Every
I don't want
time,
to be mean.
every time somebody brings up Chewbacca, I see Step Brothers.
I was just like, I don't know if I'd ever want to like offend somebody and be like, your spirit animal's Chewbacca, but it's not because you're hairy. It's not the beard.
Not because I'm tall either,
Oh gosh. Well, I don't. It's hard to tell.
right?
I see, like, how tall are you?
5'4".
Oh boy. he's
You're what?
He's
I'm
5'4".
5'4", 200 pounds.
Oh, so you're like my height.
Yeah. I'm
Oh.
an old wrestler, MMA.
Means you guys can box.
I was like, I'm 5'2.5" on a good day, so
Shoot.
5'3".
My dad was 5'1", my mom was 4'10". My grandmother on my dad's side was 4'8".
You got the short straw.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
but we got to wrap up.
There were no tall straws, Robert.
My
All
half
right.
brother's like 5'6". So
Oh boy, we'll continue the conversation at 6:00. We have things to do.
All right.
Yeah.
We do have a show to end.
Gotta
So
go.
again, I appreciate you, Miss Rogness, for being the co-host of our studio network. Mr. Tom Buzzelli from BuzzeliAir, thank you for coming on today. And we'll
Pleasure.
see you guys next week. Next week, actually, I take that back. Next week
Not
is
next
Thanksgiving.
week.
So we'll be
Enjoy
coming
your
back
dinners.
December 3rd at 5:00. What'd you say, Kels?
Enjoy your dinners for Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
right.
All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.